welcome back to another episode of Pros and Cons. I'm akaBoG, and I've got the Captain 1701 with me.
Yeah.
Where are you coming from today, Captain?
So last week we were in front of a dumpster fire.
Which was appropriate.
This time I am hurtling through the stars on the endless void of this ridiculous plot.
Sounds good.
So, might end up in the Q continuum. I don't know where I am. I don't know where the show's going. Well, actually, I have a theory later that I'll talk about.
Perfect.
But it's still pretty stupid. Anyway, I am just hurtling through the stars in Star Trek purgatory at this point.
Well, and let's see here. We gotta try and take a couple lessons from last week because we almost didn't even want to do it last week, and we came down and we didn't do our sound check, and we got
we were half-assing that one, just like the writers of this show were. So you can't blame us.
We were a little sauced too. We were definitely drinking a lot more last week than this week. So forgive that. And in that fact, we actually got one of the best comments that we've ever gotten. It was epic and did a much better job than we did in breaking down the episode. So we thought we'd actually get into our comment from Michael, who is one of our subscribers over on Pros and Cons. And we wanted to say thank you for dropping the comment here. It's excellent. We had to share it for those who haven't seen it. And real quick, before we get into it, early on, I want to say, the monthly subscriber giveaway winner for March is a Pros and Cons subscriber, Captain MB. And go to
Captain?
Yeah, Captain MB1.
MB1?
MB is the winner.
Is he an android?
No.
Captain MB1?
No, you're adding a 1 because I said 1 is in WON.
Gotcha. I see what you mean. All right.
Yeah, it's Captain MB. And he is the winner, so he gets to pick a prize from the prize pack. So get in touch with us through akaBoG.com. And let's get into these questions. We're just going to go into it because, and as it says, spoilers, we probably should have said that before we popped up on screen, but whatever, But this is totally, let's just get into it. First off, Not Lyris doesn't know who the Q continues. Really? Not a deal breaker, but it seems like first is several contrivances to come.
And he has about 30 more.
And it's right.
Let's read them all through, and then maybe we'll comment.
Yeah. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to push them down as they come up a little bit, so we can just, we'll kind of pace it a little bit, right? All right, so go ahead and break it down.
So in number 2, she says, I don't like time travelers, to which Picard responds for no reason whatsoever, but my name is Jean-Luc Picard. WTF kind of response is that to her statement? Would it not flow better if he said, I hate time travelers too, but Guinan thought you'd want me. My name is Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah, 100% right. It's such a minor change, but it flows a lot better, and it is such a dumb way to bring it up. Let's see here. So, up next. Picard says he's looking for something that alters the future that I'm from. Wait, you're not from that future? Didn't they try to say that this is an alternate timeline because of all the Guinan 10-4 controversy? So, why do you care, Picard? Why do any of these characters care about what happens in the timeline, save for the possibility of the undoing of something? Right. Why would it matter? Because this isn't the real timeline. So that, and getting into that, it's referencing the fact that their explanation for why young Guinan doesn't know Picard is because they went when the timeline changed, the future versions of them never went back to the past to save Data's head, so they never met Guinan in the past.
But her species is a Illurian time-traveling race that is in tune with all pieces of time, so she should know.
Which is exactly what you said, and you're right. She should have a sense of it or something at the very least, right? But it's bad. It's bad Star Trek, so who cares? All right, so up next, let's see here.
Number 4.
Number 4, I jumped because it's got a weird break there in the stupid page.
So,
there we go. 4. We'll bring him up.
Renee Picard. I thought Jean-Luc was the first to journey amongst the stars. I know they shoehorned in this contrivance in the first episode, but come on, man! And why does Picard's brother, who despises time travel,
Space travel.
Space travel. I despise time travel too. And why does Picard's brother, who despises space travel, give his son the same name of the most famous spacefaring Renee in the Picard family?
I didn't even think about it.
That is an excellent point. What is that, from like Brother's Keeper?
Yeah.
It's like part of the kind of the Borg trilogy, Locutus Borg trilogy.
Or maybe they mention Renee when they die in the Fire and Generations. Whatever it is. But exactly, why would his brother name his son after Renee? I mean, again, I think they also kind of downplay it, like they don't know who Renee is. But my point was, like, wouldn't the Picard know who his like most famous starfaring like ancestor was previously?
Especially the first one.
And that's the point too, is he was the one who really journeyed out, which is why they were all mad at him for leaving the vineyard.
Right.
Dude, this is dumb. I hate this show. Anyways, I love this one, dude. Why does the cloak fluctuate? Couldn't Picard have said no when it turned on? Like, and no, the cloak isn't 100%, but it should provide us with adequate cover. You know, just a line to explain it would have been nice. But they're not very good writers.
Number 6. Literally, the Borg Queen is smart enough to use telephone communications, but the crew isn't. Why didn't a competent crew foresee the Queen doing this to the ship in the first place? That's excellent.
Right.
Because why every time Data took over the Enterprise, like a bunch,
instantaneously, like no problem. Yeah.
Using voices of every single Starfleet officer on the ship.
They should be very wary of leaving a quote-unquote techno,
exactly,
or you know, a high-level techno control organism.
Literally, this crew consists of 2 people that have been assimilated. Locutus and 7 of 9, he's referring to.
Yep.
How they could not foresee this is inexcusable. You wouldn't leave a baby unattended, but you'll leave your mortal enemy on her own.
Dude.
And then scroll down.
Right, like, how could they not, like, at least put her in a force shield, man?
Where did it say? Screw this show.
Yeah.
And we're only at number 6. We have like 25 points to go.
Dude.
Oh, here we go with Raffi.
Raffi, a commander, blatantly disregards time travel rules because she is incompetent. I have been ragging on this constantly. I can't understand how they say she's a Starfleet officer.
And she's the one that told them all to leave their tech on the ship.
Yep. 7 urges them to do so, but is totally okay with potential criminals being freed from the bus to run rampant. Well, 7 is kind of like they say. She doesn't care about this timeline. She's like, whatever, we're going to just fix it.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, 7 is worried about screwing up the timeline any more than it already is, but why do they care? It's not their timeline. Otherwise, how else do you excuse Guinan not remembering Picard? Dude is literally a time traveler who saved Guinan's life 100 years ago. I think you'd remember that beautiful bald head of his hanging out with the eccentric Mark Twain.
There'd be no way to not be able to identify him.
Right.
Okay. So why does Rios know he's being rescued? You know what? Who cares? This effing show. I do have. What's going on? Oh, yeah, it's my friends.
I do kind of disagree with this point because he would know, like, the bus just all stopping out of the blue.
He doesn't know how a bus works, bro.
True. Yeah, that's a good point. Although in this episode, they're trying to turn him into Tom Paris, like.
Dude, yeah, he's dude
reminiscing about the past and like.
We'll get into it when we talk about the next episode, dude, because you're right though.
And then this one's.
It's really plausible that 2-dimensional ice agent wouldn't speak Spanish. Also, why open the gate?
No shit. You don't think ice agents are?
I would bet
all
the large
bilingual
majority of them
point?
are bilingual, dude. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I don't know. But I would assume.
Apparently, tricorders can knock out buses and people.
Yep.
We talked about that one.
We did. That's the dumbest thing ever, dude. Stun tricorder. Stupid.
Again, breaking out these detainees literally could alter the timeline. But Preachy Show prioritizes preaching about immigration instead of exploring a smart moral analog about freeing individuals who might well be criminals, or exploring the notion of not freeing them despite their potential innocence. Remember, too, the guy
that... It could be a nice little dilemma there, too, and you could have a whole little dialogue back and forth.
And they let the guy out, and he just, like, also had a phone on him out of the blue.
Yeah, let me just call my dude. Dude, right here. Who the fuck is Pedro, and why, after being free, is he not trying to escape? And why is Rio suddenly best pals? I don't know.
Because he double Kirk chopped him.
Dude.
Why does Seven know it's called a bus? Even if she does, it's inexcusable that so many of these characters so readily invoke colloquialisms the way they do. Does no one remember double dumbass on you? Exactly.
Dude.
Exactly. Watch Star Trek 4.
Star Trek 4 was a much better version of this entire series. This series wanted to be Star Trek 4, but it's not.
I'm just waiting for the whales
Nearly as good.
at this point.
Why does Pedro have a cell phone, and why didn't he get knocked out with the
There
EMP?
we go.
Exactly.
Good point.
Exactly. I don't know. It's magic.
Cut to Renee again. Literally an excuse for Kurtzman-era Star Trek to cram in a character with a debilitating trauma.
Yes.
Not to be insensitive, but what kind of space agency allows for an astronaut with depression to go to this far along in such a critical space?
I said that exact same thing tonight when we were watching the episode. Exactly that.
And then
it would never happen. It's dumb that it happened.
And so
and Star Trek, even like TNG, even like when they were like trying to bring in like characters that were troubled or whatever in like some of the other series, they were still Starfleet officers at their core. They've got this training. They've been through a lot at this point. They should be rock sturdy, even if they're having trouble dealing. Whatever.
You gotta pull your shit together at some point.
They always did in the TV show.
And then what's crazy too?
I like old Star Trek.
In this episode, like they have the party before she goes into isolation, so they allow the one of the commanders of this voyage to just get
very NASA-like,
hammered,
to be like, let's party.
All she does is get wasted the entire time, and
real adults understand that alcohol is problematic.
You're going to space.
You've got priorities, and that maybe you should act responsible.
Exactly.
And just I don't know, but it's 2024, Tom. You know.
Yeah.
I guess.
All right, 17.
17 already. Okay. I gotta go a little down. There we go. All right. I'll do this one. Why does Picard automatically assume upon hearing that Renee sometimes experiences melancholy, anxiety, and depression that she is maybe lucky to survive? That was one of the things that made me go like, what is this show? I think we hit pause and stopped and like yelled at each other for like 5 minutes while we were watching it, because that...
Everyone with depression like does something.
All right, real quick, I'm gonna break camera. Hey Matthew, I want you to chime in. This is my Parsival, my son over here. Did you hear me? All right, this is a line from. They're talking about how one of Picard's relatives in the last episode has melancholy experience, that she sometimes experiences melancholy, anxiety, and depression, and that his response is that she may be lucky to survive. What kind of writing is that? Dude, is that like the right messaging in any way, shape, or form? Or like, all right. Anyways, sorry to break here. That's my that's Parsival for you. He's just like, what are they talking about? So, dude, that is the dumbest thing ever. I'm sorry. That may be lucky to survive. That's not. The approach to it is you treat your depression. I'm gonna be a little honest with you. You go and there's medical avenues and there's therapeutic avenues, and you have to, there's a whole process. But the truth is, we've been doing it for a long time, and we know a lot about helping people out. And I don't know, man, that attitude of like maybe lucky to survive, I think is
especially
it's not Star Trek, bro. It's not Star Trek in any way, shape, or form. Like the idealistic future here.
Especially in 2024, when there's so many options for therapy.
Yeah.
And like if you're having problems,
and everybody is like ready to help you and willing to help you, and acknowledges the importance of getting that help too.
Saying that everyone suffering these issues is just doomed to die is insensitive and out of touch.
Maybe she'll be lucky to survive.
Moving on.
Oh my God.
Picard is incredulous that the Watcher watches a therapy session because it breaches privacy. Does he think a Watcher doesn't do anything other than watch private moments? Also, you were a captain. You literally would likely to have access to your previous crew members' psychological profiles.
Right, at the very least, of not being able to be like, I need to see all of the communications the crew has sent outbound over the last month. Just because shit's going down and you need to do it. You know what I mean?
How many episodes of Star Trek did they find a spy by like searching through like encrypted?
You're this weird alien
files?
that's been following my relative around for 25 years. I think it's incredulous that you would watch her therapy session.
Right.
Says the time traveler. He's trying to prevent Armageddon. Whatever. You want that one?
Why isn't the omnipotent Q aware that he's being watched by a watcher? Don't tell me his powers are gone, yet he's able to predict 17-second sitting, or takes over the role of a shrink, or can message Soong at his uber-secure lab. So dumb.
Period. Underline, bold face.
I don't think we need to go into that one, because it is dumb.
Dumb. In fact, here, you know what? Because it's gonna be on the screen for a second.
So dumb.
I'm gonna do it. There we go. So dumb. Where are we at? 20?
20.
Alright, why is Picard so sure that Renee is supposed to take this flight if this isn't his timeline? Dude, we were talking about this tonight. After all, does he even know about her? He plays the scene and acts if he doesn't know her. And if the terrible writing forgot that this isn't the timeline pass, what does he care if she flies or not?
We were thinking, and should we just drop this now?
Yeah, let's do it now.
Because I'm starting to think now that maybe she was not supposed to go on this mission, and they pushed her into this mission, and that's what causes all the bullshit to happen.
Yeah, she's going to cause everything to blow up and go. That would be so Kurtzman trick, though.
Which is another bullshit,
because
like, fake out.
Bullshit fake out, it's bad writing, and it's horrible, and it seems dumb and stupid.
Yeah.
And it kind of fits.
We figured it out. Thanks. Way to go.
Yeah.
Nice surprise.
Totally. Dude.
That's our prediction now. Like, it's not supposed to happen, but they made it happen. And
she was famous. Why wasn't she famous for doing this big mission? She was just kind of known for finding a microbe on Europa.
Plus, she's so young. She's probably going to have way more opportunities to go to space.
She went on one of the later Europa missions, probably.
Yeah.
Picard doesn't know because it's the dark times and there aren't records from there.
Right.
Isn't that what they said? Or
dark
something?
times.
I think that's what they said. I don't remember.
So the Soong, I like that. The Soong.
Dude.
All the Soongs look like Brent Spiner. Apparently.
Dude, I love Brent Spiner.
He was actually,
but I wish to God they would have
actor.
thought of a better way to bring him onto the show.
I do want to say something before we go into this next point about the current episode. I think what we should do for the rest of these comments is maybe roll the current episode into these comments because they all kind of fit in.
It's all. Let's continue the discussion.
I wanted to bring up the fact that I made this point that when Picard, this version of Picard, all he does is offer cliched advice.
Dude,
there's never like in old Picard, he was giving commands, running a ship, and then he would give advice to other officers. All he does in this episode is impart bullshit, cliche wisdom to everyone. Like that's his entire point. Is like a cliched wizard. Like he went up to Renee and like, actually, I am the wisest, oldest security guard on the staff, and I'm. By the way, if you're a fucking world famous astronaut, would you listen to a security guard? That's like tries
He's
to
old and timely.
90-year-old security guard that tries to.
I'll throw in my only pro for the episode. He looked like Picard, so he is pretty like stately.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. So, if you're the astronaut, right, world famous astronaut, you're probably young, pioneering astronaut. Some 90-year-old security guard comes up to impart wisdom. Are you gonna be like, "Fuck off, you creep"? And just leave me alone, or you just gotta sit there and listen to this old man give you wisdom. It was just like
he gave her the eyes. She's not at all embarrassed by being caught, like totally breaking when she's supposed to be this astronaut, like going on this mission.
So especially after going through therapy for however long in this illness, like Picard,
bad Q therapy.
Right. So Picard, this wisely sage, is gonna come in and like change your mind in five minutes.
Probably.
Out of the fucking blue.
We're on to the next MacGuffin.
Stupid.
Which is, what are they? Oh, the next MacGuffin is she has to fake human mind meld with him. Let's go through
21.
these. We'll see. Yeah. We didn't. All right. Soon getting his license revoked scene is like the most contrived scene in this particular contrived episode. They literally have their table set up in the hallway.
Lol.
Dude. Cop literally doesn't see Agnes 15 feet away. Agnes literally doesn't hear yelling cop 15 feet away. Isn't she still cold? What happened to the fire? Literally the whole reason for why she is in the stupid house in the first place.
Yeah, that didn't make sense either.
Dude. Like, alright. Right, I didn't even think about it, dude. But the cop went in the house and then went into the ship after he saw it, like, reflecting. So, what the fuck?
Yeah. I like this one. This might be my favorite one. Shitty cloak is still shit, and a flashlight can illuminate it. FML, fuck my life.
Dude.
That was dope. At least we didn't get, like, a shitty ship effect this time.
Dude.
We didn't get any ships this time. We don't get any stars.
We did.
Again.
We had fake simulator.
Did we get stars
No.
this episode?
I don't think so.
Did we get trekking this episode?
No.
We got 2024 Earth drama.
Earth drama.
With Star Trek characters.
Star Trek characters that are playing versions of their characters that A, don't really care anymore, and B, aren't really the characters they used to be.
Exactly. 24.
Cop doesn't have a vest camera filming all this. How inconvenient.
And then just shows up without backup.
Dude. Right here. He doesn't immediately call for backup when he's discovering a stealth ship.
Yeah.
Also, very inconvenient.
This one I think we can talk a little bit more about.
All right.
Because,
why does the Watcher Picard believe anything? He just assumes because, like, old Guinan. What made him think to look for the Watcher in the first place? The Borg?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. She gave him the coordinates to find her.
No, they gave him the coordinates and they went to the Guinan. And Guinan told him to find the Watcher?
That's
or
right.
No, they went to Guinan saying they were looking for the Watcher.
Guinan guided him to the Watcher.
But she knew what the Watcher was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were like, dude, alright.
And then, so speaking of the Watcher, I guess Picard's robot body is impervious to getting hit by a Tesla. He's got lit up by a Tesla. And he's an android. And then I guess now in Star Trek universe, humans and time traveling beings can just mind meld with a robot.
She said it was a kind of fake, sort of quasi mind meld.
Did Data ever get mind melded? I don't ever recall Data being in a mind meld. And
okay. I wasn't even thinking about it, and that brings up from this episode, right? Like you said, she's scanning his brain, and when he's injured later, and talking about his synapses. Motherfucker don't have no synapses. He's got positronic pathways, right?
Allegedly.
I thought.
We were led to believe that.
I gotta go back and watch Star Trek Season 1.
Did they just retrofit all of his organs?
Dude, okay. So we're getting into this part of it, too. Because they show him, and he doesn't look cut open. But then the doctor, I thought, clearly stated that she told Rios that she had her hands in his boss's chest. That implies she cut him open.
No.
That implies she was playing with organs, but he doesn't have organs. He's a robot. How could she cut him open?
Referring to the defibrillator.
But that doesn't have anything. You don't put your hands inside his chest to run the defibrillator.
I don't know. That was nothing. It's just shit.
Bad writing.
All
right.
I guess Watchers can now mind meld.
I guess. But he's right. It could have literally been Silic or some traveling Baghdad. It's the same thing with Picard. When Q shows up at the beginning, he's not me like, hey Q, man, let's like talk. He's like, oh, like, you know, freaking out and like,
I am death. Ah.
Oh man. All right. Exactly why does Picard believe? Oh, let's go on.
Chateau Picard has been abandoned for many years. Exactly why does Agnes assume the gun on the mantle works or is loaded? And why wasn't the gun her to wind them?
And also, if it's been abandoned for so many years, how does Picard have it in
Easy
his
plot device.
I guess this is the messed up past, but I think he mentions that it was abandoned in his time period too.
During World War II.
Yeah.
Fucking what? 80 years
nobody like
before this time
claimed
period?
his abandoned property.
So
for...
this chateau is abandoned for 80 years
Dumb,
on the
dude.
French
That's so
countryside.
Agnes, who is literally a part of a crew who has been in relationships in her life, is told she is always alone. Give me a break. She practically explodes with glee in season 1 after being a part of this crew. Yup.
She keeps going back, like in this episode.
They're just trying to. It's another like victim thing about like that's being exploited, and at least at the end of this episode, it was like, oh yeah, the queen was manipulating you, dummy. You know, you let it happen. You know.
And now she's full on board.
I hate her anyway, so I don't mind that she's been assimilated and is like lost to us to the Borg. And she's a murderer anyway, so you know, I don't like her.
I gave him something to erase the memory. You removed his spleen? He has bruising all over his neck. Also, if his police department wouldn't have repeatedly checked in on him and sent back up to Chateau Picard when he did report in for hours. What's stopping him from coming back to the ship when he wakes up?
I gave him something to erase his memory. I think triggered me when we were watching it too. I was like, what?
What did they give him?
Why didn't you just give him?
They would have at least said like a techie tech sciencey
like
thing.
we have to like target those memory cells for erasure, and you know.
Right, they would have made some bullshit up. So at least they would have made it sound good, except for we gave him something to forget his memory.
Dude, perfect. This is so perfect. The performance of the actor playing Raffi is so over the top. In this episode that you can see it from orbit, she's lost in her performance in such a terrible way. People like to praise Frakes for his direction, but man, the man did nothing to help this actor out. He's totally right.
Raffi even fucking saw Elnor again this episode.
She did. She got a little flash, but she's like set to like her. I don't know. Like, is the director like saying, "I want your panic level set to 11,
right.
and your manic level set to 20." You can see it in her neck. She's got like stress lines in her neck half of the freaking episode, man.
When I thought for sure that she was just gonna go down the drinking path this episode and just lose.
I'm waiting for her to do it. I don't know. Literally, why does Q have a comically bad accent? Don't tell me this is some lame throwback. No one knows who he is in this reality. So why is he putting it on L? Because bad writing in this show requires a reveal of him that literally no one saw coming. Yup. We've talked about it too. I keep saying I think it's evil near Q or something. And you keep saying the Q can continue to exist outside of time, and there is only one Q, and there is no near Q.
Like Guinan. Because Guinan and Q know each other.
I know.
It's been explicitly explained.
But I'm telling you, dude, it's bad writing is going to be the explanation.
It's bad writing because they've never actually watched a real episode.
They did ever watch any of it? Dude, here you go. Alright, wait. Now Picard's son remembers precisely who Renee is, and the suggestion is then that it is their timelines. Why isn't she living at Chateau Picard? Does she not care about her vineyard falling into disrepair, leaving weapons and wine around for anyone to steal? More importantly, we see Jean-Luc Picard recite his lineage expertly, right? Would he not have been able to expertly recall his great aunt's achievement scheduled to take place in mere days, the second they arrived at this period? And I look at the date that this is it. Picard is literally an expert on his family lineage. Did Jurati really need to interact with a bunch of 15s from a previous episode to tip Picard off to the significance of the 15th, when he obviously should know it was his ancestor's biggest day ever? Oh my god, this dumb.
Especially if she was the first Picard to go to space.
Which we've talked about this exact point, dude. It's literally dumb that Picard doesn't know her.
He knows all of his ancestors.
He does the throwback and he's like, we don't have good records because the Dark Ages or whatever. Dude, he talks about his ancestors
on like
in the
Clipper 1500s
and shit like that.
Yeah.
He knows his family.
You would especially know the first one that went to space.
Especially did a big mission that saved the Federation from becoming racist bigots.
Especially since that's your career.
I hate this shit.
Do the writers actually think there will be radio-enabled invitation technologies in 2 years from today?
Yes.
But Jurati took a course in school on this very subject. Oh yeah, antique. What was that?
Antique programming.
Fuck
or whatever,
off,
dude.
Fuck off.
Apparently, it's hard to get into a party that's an infiltrate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck off. That's stupid.
Dude.
I took antique
They
communications.
really want us to have those radio-enabled invitation technologies. They're working on
How
it.
convenient.
Alright.
Do the writers actually... okay, sorry. Do we really need the visual of the Borg Queen with her armor and Jurati to convey what's taking place? Or do the writers think we're all complete morons? I don't necessarily agree with this one. I think it's actually a pretty good film.
It was like creative director's choice.
I think you still need to have that... I think you really need to still have...
I hate I know you're into
like
the Borg Queen. I hate the interaction between the Borg Queen and Jurati, but I think at least part of that is I hate Jurati. And it's also part of the fact that I hate the idea of a Borg Queen going back even to Voyager. And First Contact, it was cool, but they kind of like really like fucked it out after that, you know?
They're showing though...
The Borg were more threatening without a leader. It's just like a unending horde.
But they're also showing like the binary nature of Jurati's like psyche at the moment. I don't mind.
It's not the worst camera trick I've ever seen. They could do it more creatively.
It's also her going crazy because literally it's the whole time she's talking to herself, which is kind of
I don't know.
I didn't mind that too much.
I don't like Jurati or the Borg Queen, so whatever.
I like this one coming up because I'm still
all yours.
confused. Watcher looks like Laris for no reason whatsoever. It is ridiculous that Picard isn't immediately interrogating her on his way.
Why do you look at the woman I want to bang in my timeline who is a Romulan from another planet?
He did kind of mention that this time, and she's like, "Oh, I don't fucking know." Whatever.
She mentioned it to him, like, "Why do you think who's this person?
You're a terrible liar.
Who's this person that you think I look like?" Is what she said, and he's like, "It doesn't matter, what, dude. It doesn't matter. They just were like, we already paid her.
Yeah,
she has to come do these episodes. If we just recast her, we don't want to pay for another actress. We're not. They're not going to explain it, Tom. They're not going to explain it." I was like kind of hoping they would give us an explanation, even if it was really dumb, but they're not gonna. They're just gonna say.
Or when it comes back to the normal.
Oh, she just happened to look like her.
When they come back to the normal timeline, she'll be like, "Oh, that was a fun adventure, Picard," and like wink, and then they'll make out, and the credits will roll.
But she was all mad. That's why she didn't want him to go. She knew he was gonna go back in time, and
if that's the payoff.
But then she didn't want him to. Then she wanted him to not go back in time, so he couldn't prevent the thing from interfering with it. So she wants time to unravel? That doesn't make any sense either. This is dumb. Alright. How was the Queen able to touch Jurati if she's tied up? Why? Yeah, I thought she was all... Yeah, how'd she get her hand... Yeah, how'd she get her hand
Maybe
down?
when she shot her with the shotgun and blew a strap open or something.
Okay. Alright, I'll accept I'll give you the Marvel no prize for that one. That's acceptable. The new drone stun carried right back, so she... Right? Yeah, why didn't she just assimilate the cop? Why she's like removing the cop's spleen and shit? I was like, I didn't get why she didn't. If she's gonna assimilate Jurati, why didn't she assimilate the cop? And if she assimilates, shouldn't she have like shit popping out? Is it just stealth assimilation? I don't know. It's not. Alright, whatever. I like this. You ready for this one?
It's like a Pacific Rim drift.
I like Pacific Rim. The first one's good.
Why is the brilliant Renee not asking herself why her shrink looks like the dude that snaps his fingers and talks to himself out on the patio? I don't think she saw him.
Yeah, maybe his powers were working but not working.
I don't think she saw him, period, because she had her back to him and she was like...
She was sitting there, like, kind of angled at him, and he's, like, sitting there. Are you so entangled in a book that someone sitting 8 feet away from you talking and, like, snapping weirdly is not going to make you go, like, huh?
Well, consider the source of the writing.
I know. It's quite the contrivance. Alright. Look at his Watcher watches Renee when she can't even see that Renee's shrink is also hanging out at her work home patio. What's the point?
Yeah, fuck the
Watcher. The Watcher, what's the point of her being there? She's not going to be able to do anything other than, like, wait for time travel.
She's not doing shit. She's like...
they didn't need her there. She's a fucking MacGuffin for one episode that now they're stuck with.
And if our theory is correct, then she's actually been right all along and Picard's wrong.
Yeah.
She's supposed to let...
If Hugh's powers are gone, how does he get to his office? Did he learn to drive at the same school that taught Seven how to expertly drive? I hate this show. I want the injection Girardi doled out where your memory is wiped so that I can forget how terrible Star Trek is now, right? P.S. Why does the Borg Queen just use her powerful tentacles to free herself? I hate her, the Borg Queen's new Doctor Who tentacles. I hate them. They're dumb. They're stupid. I want the old nanotubes. I want Borg nanites. I don't want Borg tentacles that rip spleens out. That's stupid. That's stupid.
I don't want to see stealth half of simulations either.
I was accepting them to like stab people and pump them like a giant simulator pump, but then it doesn't assimilate them. They just rip spleens out. It's dumb.
Sigh.
And dude, this is in reference to us asking why Rafi is a spy. Apparently, the spy reference is because Rafi used to work in Starfleet Intelligence. I leave you to appreciate the iron.
Good point.
All right. Anyways, this whole episode's been ranting about last episode, but dude,
I thought those comments like
really, I love the comment. It made me laugh when I was reading it, and I thought everything he said was 100% on point and is worth reading. I think everybody deserves to read.
And we were able to kind of tie it into what happened in this episode.
Is there anything in this episode we didn't talk about? The singing was dumb.
Out of the blue.
It was dumb.
Why
did they leave Girardi there after
wander?
Robot Picard's hit? Why is Robot Picard bleeding from his mouth?
Who drove him there? Did they just carry him like several miles across the city?
I think didn't they mention how heavy he is now that he's a robot?
So they
in season 1?
Did they carry him the whole way to this random ass?
Why did they take him all the way to this random ass clinic instead of taking him to a hospital if they were really worried about him?
I thought it was super dark though that I don't know, Soji whatever, like found her files of
I was hating the spinal roll until so now I'm like, dude, that was good.
That
like the pictures and the videos of him getting older and older and older.
As he's talking about all these clones that are dying.
Yeah, that was good.
But
that's Spiner. He's great.
Spiner's the best actor in the show.
Yeah, dude. And it's not his fault he's dragged in for this dumb shit. They're like, do you want to get a paycheck from Star Trek Picard? And he's like, yes.
By the way, I think we're fucking done with this episode.
I don't have it. I'm just randomly. I'm like.
I think though, before we sign off, they did release the season 3 teaser, and they released like the cast.
Member berries. We talked about member berries. Remember when? And they're like, here's some member berries. Don't quit Picard season 2 yet. They put it out days before this episode because they knew how dumb and how bad this episode was. We talked about maybe brief. I don't know. Did we talk about how like it starts off with the end of the episode for like, trying to build tension, like what happened to poor Picard?
Yeah, that was.
And it does it several times. It's
pointless.
Just filler to make it a 38-minute long episode instead of a 30-minute episode. It's stupid, dude.
It was pointless.
Yeah.
But you know they dropped all the names.
Everybody's coming back. I think what I told you is I would be excited if they come back as actual crew or versions of the crew, and they're actually in it for the whole season. And I think I told you
you're gonna get bullshit cameos.
I think I told you I think I told you specifically that they were all going to show up on the last episode for 1 second to say goodbye at Picard's funeral. They're like, this is it. The cast is really dead.
That's the MacGuffin for next season.
This Picard's funeral is so they can get everybody together for Picard's funeral.
Where's Shil Wheaton? I didn't see him on the list.
He got into it. Bill Shatner this past week. They were like, I don't even know. I don't
Shatner's the OG.
But I saw a bunch of things saying like, Bill Shatner like crushes Will Wheaton. I don't even know. I haven't paid attention. All right,
I'm done with this.
Well, I'm trying to think. Is there nothing else with this episode, dude? Where did it end? Girardi. I like the shot of her walking towards the city, having like a fully assimilated Girardi loose in the city is bad news. But if we were watching, if it was real, the Queen would just go and start assimilating everybody, and everybody would be super fucked. Instead, she's like gonna go sightseeing, or maybe Girardi will have a conversation, a heart to heart with her, and convince the Queen to let her take back over. We know Girardi is the Queen, Borg Queen, at the end of at the beginning of the episode. Obviously now, that's why her face is covered. No Queen's ever had her face covered before. The only reason is because it's Girardi, and that's why she's gonna know. Picard's mom says, "Look to the stars," because Picard's gonna tell her, "You have to go to the future and tell me." And it's like, I don't know.
By the way, Rios is staying behind, right?
Yeah, Rios. I think we mentioned that as a possibility because of the sexy
nurse,
sexy nice doctor that he was into. This episode 100% reaffirmed that on so many levels. Like he said, he was a Tom Paris and joint. It's so real. The food's so good. It's so, and he's not like this giant. It's so horrible. He's like, it's challenging and
it's
they
dirty.
Real.
It's dirty. I love it. Like he's the only one that actually like.
He's 100% staying behind with his lady friend. And he's gonna have his little essay friend, her son. He's gonna be stepdad. And
did 7 of 9 have a role in this episode?
Like you said, did she have any lines this episode?
I think they just showed her a wide shot of Raffi like being like, "Oh, she doesn't have implants. She's so hot."
And Seven's like over there like ugh.
With a crowd, like swooning the crowd.
And then also like later they pan and she's just like annoyed, scoffing. I don't know if she had any lines this episode.
I'm still convinced that 7 of 9 is the only character in this time period that's like, what the fuck are we doing here?
She's not even playing old.
She's like the only
she's
like
just playing Jerry Ryan in the movie or the TV show.
She's the only like basically, but she's the only character that just seems like she hasn't done anything this entire season. Like she's just there to have 7 of 9, and you know, what has 7 of 9 done at all this season except tackle someone off a balcony and fall 2 stories?
She drove that car for like 10 minutes.
Oh god, yeah, that was horrible. Other than that,
I don't know, dude. We didn't, dude.
And that was because Raffi.
I feel like I saw this whole episode in the trailer last week.
And that was because Raffi like fucked up.
Because they like the whole thing getting in there and doing it. It was so by the numbers and so dumb, and
I saw
there's no
that
real tension.
They only had to do that car chase because the LAPD wouldn't let them blow anything up or kill any cops. What's the point of a car chase?
Dude, no, yeah. Well, you know.
Every car chase in history has like an explosion.
It was like they're gunning and it's like 30 miles an hour. I'm so excited.
Dude, this show's stupid.
This show's dumb.
We'll be back next week because we love suffering.
Because we love Star Trek.
Even we love Star Trek.
This is new Trek, but we'll still suffer through it so we can bitch about it.
We like smashing it. It makes
it's not going to be in Shuffle Trek. I'm not putting new Trek in Shuffle Trek.
Shuffle Trek will only encompass TOS, TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Enterprise.
That's what
I don't want anything else. I don't need anything else.
Yeah. Alright.
This is just for content on YouTube.
Should we do, you want to do a mug plug?
Sure.
You plug yours, I'll plug mine.
Go with the Captain Yellow, TOS Yellow. By the way, let's not do Strange New Worlds because I'm done with this shit. I don't care.
I'm gonna watch it, but we'll talk about it.
Oh god, let's do it.
We might. It's a whole channel, you know. You might be surprised. I think it's a poor sign that the bunch of the trailer stuff that we see is like Pike on Earth, but that's why you should go with my TNG Captain's red mug.
No space. No stars or trekking in current Star Trek.
Yeah, this is Star Trek without the star and without the trek.
Or the trekking. I guess they would have to trek, like Picard, all the way to that frickin' hospital from where the fuck they were in the middle of the city. Can you imagine a bunch of people in... I'm sorry, I gotta say this. Can you imagine a bunch of people in ball gowns and tuxedos, like, carrying an old man, like, 20 miles to a hospital? Like, walking through the city?
Dude.
What the fuck? Sorry, I'm done.
Mic drop.
Let's roll.
Dumpster fire.